Alright, what's going on, guys? So this is something I haven't done in quite some time. I've recorded this before, um, but I kind of deleted that because I ended up changing everything. Um, so I've actually mentioned this on my stream, or a few of my streams already, and my vlog channel, and both of those channels will be in the description if you want to check them out. But I plan on building 2 new computers when I move. And I'm sure some of you guys already know about that. So this video is just going to be basically me showing you guys the parts that I'm going to be getting. And in a way, kind of why I'm getting them. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about it later. So the whole point of building a custom computer is to build it the way that you want it. Now, I've had some situations where people, tell me to, get this part and this part instead of whatever, we're talking about at the time, and I'm just kind of like, no. And then they get pissed at you for it because you're not listening to them. Again, it's your computer. You build it the way that you want it to, not, how anybody else wants you to. Because let's be honest, it's going to be you using the computer every day instead of them, because they won't be using it at all because it'll be yours. um, so, so here is the gaming computer for the first one. Now, the 2 computers are going to be a gaming computer, and the other is going to be a workstation. So, video editing, rendering, daily usage when I'm looking at like emails or something like that. But like the rest will be mainly done on the gaming computer. I don't know, just listening to music, making videos, and watching YouTube or whatever. So, and if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my list, because I have something written down for why for the storage I have so much and what I'll be using it for. So, yeah. And I'll show you guys in a little bit. I don't care. Uh, like storage wise, how I like to keep my stuff organized and all that stuff. So basically, that's what the storage is going to be for. So first is the processor. Now, originally, when I first got into wanting to build my own computer, originally I was going to go with a LGA 1150 socket type, and I was going to go with the 4790K, which at the time I don't care, which would really work well. And then I started kind of stepping out of my comfort zone because the 4th gen CPUs were the processors that I knew best, and they're the ones that I knew that were going to be reliable. So I started looking at other ones, as in the 7th gen processors and the 8th gens. Now, originally, I was going to put an 8th gen CPU in the workstation. And at this time, by the way, I was still thinking about building the 2 computers. And they're both going to have 4th gens. Or I was going to put the better one in the gaming and then have the other, maybe the 4th gen or whatever, in the workstation. So the CPU, an 8th gen. It's an Intel Core i7 8700K. It's a 3.7 gigahertz processor, and it's a 6-core 12 thread. So of course it'll be good for multitasking and all that stuff that I'm not able to do on here. And then the CPU cooler is a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. Now that's a CPU cooler that I know works. I know a few of my friends that have it, and the only issue with it is spacing. You have to have enough space in order for you to put that in there, because it's a 159 millimeter height CPU cooler. So yeah, and some people might be wondering why I'm not going with liquid cooling, because air cooling is the thing that I know about best. If the fan gives out, you can replace the fan. With liquid cooling, of course, there are cases in which it could leak, a pipe can bust, or something can just go really wrong. So that's why I'm not going with liquid cooling. That, and I don't know too much about the maintenance. I know there's not that much in maintenancing for liquid cooling, but in the future, I plan on it. Actually, there's a few because for the workstation, I have a few other options for one for liquid cooling, one for air cooling. So I'll get more into that later. A motherboard, and actually I'll talk about the what I was gonna go with before these and what I'm going with now. So for the CPU, I was gonna originally go with the 7700K. It's a 4-core, 8-thread, 4.0 gigahertz processor. I went with this because it's better. The motherboard, I was originally going to go with the Asus ROG Strix Z270E. And then I changed it to the 370 because you can't use a 270 on the 8th gen. And real quick, actually, I'll mention this. When I build the two computers when I move, I'm going to build them one at a time. So I'm going to build this one first, and then I'm going to build the workstation later. Because the gaming will be able to do, whatever I'm doing with the workstation, video editing and rendering and all that stuff. And I'm only doing that so that I can get everything that I want into each computer. Now I do have some other things that I gotta look at for the workstation, see what I kind of want to do. And that'll be something I'll do on my own time, of course. So, yeah, the Z370E. And then for memory, I'm going with 32 gigs total RAM. And the reason why you see 216s is because I actually found that it's actually cheaper to get two of the same kind of RAM sticks as it is getting 4 total. So that's what I did. I basically just went on to the G.Skill Ripjaw V series and just got two things of 16. It'll add up to 32 anyway. 3000 megahertz. So for the storage, I have a Samsung 960 EVO. It's a 250 gig NVMe M.2 drive. And actually, if you'll see up here, see notes below, is because when you plug in the if you plug in an M.2 on most motherboards, if not all, it disables certain serial ATA ports, which is SATA ports, and I will quickly go into that real quick. So if you look at this, give me a second. Okay, so I'll show a better angle of this in a minute, but here is an M.2 slot. This is like a heat shield. There's another one right there. But the SATA ports are right here. So this is 1 and this is 6. From my understanding. And if you plug it into, and if you plug an M.2 in this one, it disables 5 and 6. And then this one disables number 1, I believe. So real quick, I'll show you. This is the M.2 slot, and here's the other one. I will actually quickly look and see which one disables what. So the So number 1 disables the first SATA port, and the second disables 5 and 6. I will have to look more into it because I think this one is considered number 1 and the top one is number 2. I don't know. I'll have to look more into that. But I'm getting that as a boot drive and for all the applications that I'm going to be using daily. So the next is another SSD, and it is the Samsung 860 EVO. And it's another 256 gig. Now, the reason why I'm getting that one is for And actually I'm getting the same thing on the other computer too. I'm getting another 860 Evo, and it's basically gonna have the same stuff. So it's gonna have video editing tools, um, thumbnails. Until I build the new computer, it would have the Vegas files and the finished videos. Now I'll show you real quick. And actually, Andrew kind of helped me out with this. He had an extra 2 terabyte external hard drive, which came in really handy because I have my main drive. The secondary hard drive is a 500 gig laptop hard drive, which is what I was recording with, and switched over. So I got the videos. I got this actually needs to go up soon. It's a zombies video. The other are Gary's mod. I got a whole bunch of music on here, and this is when I record with Dxtory. But this, the 2 terabyte, I was actually gonna get a 2 terabyte external for the setup that I'm having, because I was going to record on my main PC, put all the files onto here, and then swap it over to the other computer, and then edit off of there. So I basically have the same thing here. Videos, like this is where the video I'm recording now is recording to. Finished videos, I have Vegas files and the finished videos. I like to keep my things organized. That's usually how I have everything organized. And then I have another zombies video. And then other stuff like this. Video editing, like sound effects and transitions and all that, and thumbnails, and then Photoshop ones so I can edit whatever I need to. So that's everything I would have in that drive, plus probably some more things. And then a Crucial MX500, it's a 500 gigabyte SSD, and that is for recording. Now, most of the time, I like to record Dxtory and OBS. OBS doesn't use that much storage, but Dxtory does. Dxtory, actually, funny story about that. I can pull that up, actually. So this is a Black Ops 3 video, and it's 163 gigabytes. And I think it's like an hour worth of recording, and now my, it doesn't want to work. Give me a second. Okay, so if you look, it's 1920 by 1080, 30 FPS, and it's an hour and 9 minutes. Basically. But yeah, an hour and 9 minutes, and that's just 30 FPS, and that's at 1080p. But granted, I do use the Dxtory video codec at medium settings. Even at low settings and compressed, it's terrible. So that'll be for videos. And then the Samsung Seagate 1 terabyte hard drive would be for everything else. So like, like the wallpapers I got, extra apps that I'm using and all that. And then the 2 terabyte would be for games. So yeah, the video card, I'm going with an Asus Strix GTX 1080. Now people are going to be arguing with me saying, get the 1070 because there's virtually no difference. I agree. But for future safety and life expectancy, I'm going with the 1080 instead. That, and it does kind of give you a little bit of extra performance if there's something heavy that you're trying to do. That, and if you start doing stuff with 4K, then that's another thing that you can do. And the processor will be good for it too. Now the thing is, I use Sony Vegas Pro 15 to edit and render my videos. And I use the NVIDIA settings, so it uses my graphics card to encode and all that. So even if I were to try to do like 4K editing now, because I think there's been a few times where on my phone I recorded 4K. It is fucking terrible on this computer to edit 4K in. um, but on this computer, it wouldn't be a problem. Now you do also have to look, as in like power supplies, for graphics cards. Well, I don't know if it's gonna show it on this in particular. Um, but you know there is a minimum power supply wattage that you need, and I think for the 1080s it's 600. I think I'm not completely positive. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Okay, so I found another graphics card that is similar to the Asus one that I'm getting. It's an MSI Duke, triple fans, almost the same clock speed. If you scroll down, the recommended power supply is 500. So in this, I'm getting a 750, and I'll talk about that in a little bit too. So the case I'm getting is a Phanteks Enthor Pro M. It's got a nice tempered glass side. I'm gonna keep this out of full screen just so I can show you. It's got a nice side view pedal. It's also got a nice, it's a nice case in general. Up here is a dust filter. I think that is 2. There's more stuff I gotta look at for it, but it's nice inside. And you can hold, or you can do quite the cooling in here. The top itself, if you remove the optical drive cage, which I'm going to, but I'm not going to do this, you can hold, it can hold up to 3 120 fans or 360 millimeter liquid cooler radiator, whatever you want to call it. Same thing with the front. The front can hold 3 120s as well, or both the top and front can hold 2 140s. Now the way I'm setting everything up is I'm going to have 2 140s on the top, 2 140s in the front, and the 140 in the back. Now I will have to look at this to make sure that I am saying that correctly, because I believe it is 2, or I believe it, yeah, like 2 140s. Yeah, 2 140s, and that is on the top and front and back. So, and then right here, actually, you can put optical drive cages, or not optical, hard drive, whatever it's called. They're on here. They're called angle brackets. They're for hard drives and SSDs, whatever you want to call it. And then it's got 2 hard drive slots in the back. I believe that's an SSD mount. I'm not completely positive. I think it's over here though. So it's got 2 SSD mounts right here. It comes with 1 or 2, something like that. Here's the optical drive cages. They're hidden. Same thing with the SSDs. And this is the other side of the case. Like, this is the side that you'll be looking at the most. But this side would be for cable management. As you can see, the rubber grommets right here. Up here. And that's for cable management, of course, because you're going to have a tempered glass case. You're going to want to make it look as beautiful as possible. Then this is the back. The front, it's got the power button is up here, and then the side has 2 USB 3.0 ports, and then it's got a headphone and a mic jack and a reset button. I believe it's a reset. This is the front. There's the 140. I would be putting another 140 there, and then the 2 140s on top. And the good thing is that mounting the fans on top is that the thing pops out for it, so it makes it easier. There's the power supply dust shield, dust filter, whatever you want to call it. The hidden optical drives, hard drives, my bad. There are the 2 SSD bracket mounts. There is another one. I think it's that right there. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, never mind. Wait, yeah, that's the SSD. This is a a hard drive, an optical upgrade. That is in the back. That would be. I got this. It would be like right here ish. And yeah, this is where the other optional upgrades would be for hard drives. Now, if you do end up putting, any of these in here, it also does limit the space for your GPU. Since I'm not going to have any there, it won't matter. Pump bracket for liquid cooling and all that. And then a PMW hub, or PWM hub, that would be for system fans. From what I am told, that is magnetic, so it just sticks to wherever you put it, and you can hook up case fans to it. Now, for me, case fan connectors isn't really going to be much of an issue. The graphics card, as far as I'm concerned, it's only Asus that does this. The Republic of Gamers Strix video card has two 4-pin fan connectors, and total on the motherboard there are 6. There are 2 CPU fan connectors, and then there are 4 more system fans. Now I'm going to have 5 fans total, and my original plan was to plug in one of them to the video card. Now the pro of having, to me there's really no cons. The pro to having the connector on the video card is that if you're not gaming or doing anything heavy, of course the fans will stop on the graphics card and it'll slow down whatever fan you have plugged into there. But as soon as you start gaming, and from what I've seen and heard about the graphics card, is that it's very silent even when the fans are spinning. So they'll be silent from what I've seen and heard. So they'll start spinning up once you start getting into heavy stuff, gaming, all that stuff, blowing shit up, whatever you want to do. And then it'll actually speed up the fan on your case, whatever you have plugged into there. So the power supply, I'm going with the 700. This is also something that I'm thinking about too. It's a Seasonic 80 plus gold 750 watt fully modular power supply. And the reason why I'm going fully modular is because I don't have enough shit in here or the skill to do a lot of what do you call it? Cable management to actually get a non or semi-modular power supply. The power supply that's in this computer is a non-modular, and I just have the wires like everywhere. I don't care because there's no side panel. The only thing that's on here, or on this case, it has a 230 millimeter fan on the side. That's it. And I'll talk about how I'm going to set everything up for the fans on here too. Then we'll get into the other computer. So the power supply, I have to look because the stuff that I've been seeing, I can get an 800 or an 850 watt power supply for cheaper than this by the same company. Or I can get 1,000 watt for roughly the same price. Now you may be asking, why would you do that instead of just getting something that you know is going to work? Again, future safety. If I end up upgrading, I don't know, to a 1080 Ti maybe, or if I end up doing like SLI, which is very unlikely, then couldn't hurt to have, extra wattage. So of course I'm going with Windows 10. I'm going with Home because Pro, to me, there's no difference. So I'm getting 3 more of the same case fans that are pretty much identical to the ones that are in here. Every picture that I've seen, they're different colored. Like on here, they're white. On Newegg, they're black. So I'm just getting these. They're basically the same. They're all 140 millimeters. This has an 82 circular flow something, and it's 19 decibels, which is very quiet, and it runs at 1200 RPM. Like 21 decibels is like a whisper, which, if that even. Now the other computer is going to be a little bit more difficult because I built it different. um, I am getting RGB lights in here mainly because it's a tempered glass case. Of course, you're going to want to go with RGB because it looks cool. And these RGB lights and the graphics card are all, I think, Aurora or Aura synchronizable with the motherboard. The motherboard allows you, it's also got RGB on here too, right there, and I think over here, something like that. But if you look, if you can see where my mouse is up here, that white strip is a RGB connector. Same thing with the two down here at the bottom. Now, with that software, you can sync everything together to have the same color effect, whether it be breathing, the 16.7 million colors in a rainbow, it'll start cycle through it, which would work out great because the keyboard that I'm gonna replace my the keyboard that I'm using now. The one that I'm using now is a Razer Black Widow 2016 Ultimate Edition or something like that, and the mouse I'm using is a Razer Naga Chroma, which is the spectrum colored one. So in a way, I would basically just synchronize all that together if I can. And then I was getting another SSD bracket because two of them and it only comes with one. So that's that. And I do have other parts saved on here. I have a whole lot. This is the one that I was just showing you guys. This is the one that I'm going to be pretty much going with. Probably some changes here and there, but pretty much not. Probably the power supply, that's it. Now the workstation, this is the one I was most likely going to go with because it is really cheap and it's got good stuff. Now you may be like wondering why I have like so much like Asus stuff, because this I'm building with an Asus motherboard and the video card, and same thing with this workstation. I still have another Asus Strix graphics card. It's because I really like the cards, and the performance is like outrageous. So that, and I know these will suffice me for a while. Now, like I said, I do have other stuff on here, liquid cooling, regular. The one I'm most likely going to go with is the Asus. I don't know if it's going to be a 1070. I was thinking about either a 1070 or a 1060, mainly because there's going to be no gaming on this computer. It's going to be used as a workstation, video editing, rendering, and all that stuff. But just to have that little extra performance to kind of help. And if there's not that big of a price difference, then I would say go for it. So in here, this graphics card is about $600. It's not too bad, and it's still under the $1,900 or the under $2,000 budget that I'm just kind of looking at. Now I'm not gonna go to a 1080 or anything like that. Although on here, I was actually looking, and there's not that much of a price difference. If you see on the workstation one right here, it's Asus Strix 1070. On this workstation, these are all pretty much the same, just different brand. I got a 1070 Ti. And it's a $60 price difference, which ain't that bad. Same thing with a Gigabyte. It's a Gigabyte 1070 Ti. And still, water-cooled, air-cooled. So this is the one I was actually looking at that I'm most likely gonna go with. So real quick, I'll go over this. So this is a 2000. This is like a $2,100 computer, which, like I said, is why I'm building one computer at a time. Because then I can get what I want in it and have it completely custom. So I will go ahead and open these just so I can have them ready. Okay, so same thing. Originally, I was going to go with the 8700K in this, and then the 7700K in the gaming computer. Which actually, I think I still have an option for that. Yeah, this was the original. except the 1080. I was gonna go with a Gigabyte G1 Gaming 1070, but it had the 7700K in it. So in here, 8700K, same CPU cooler, same motherboard. The memory, the only difference is the megahertz. I was gonna go with something else, something that was cheaper, which I'm still probably gonna do. I just like the look of these, and they're actually memory sticks that I don't mind, and especially since I'll be seeing them, because the way I'm gonna have everything set up, depending on how I have my desk when we move, I'm having both the computers on the desk, the gaming computer next to gaming stuff, and the workstation next to the workstation stuff, and they'll both be at separate ends of the table. And it's gonna be this desk, the desk I'm using right now. So yeah, there's still V series. It's still 32 gigs, but it's 3200 megahertz, which I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna keep that or if I'm gonna go with something else. I still gotta look at some stuff. Two Samsung 860 Evo solid state drives, 250 gigabytes. One of them is gonna be for a boot drive, and the other is gonna be for the same thing as the other computer. Video editing, thumbnails, all that stuff. And then a 2 terabyte. Now that one's not going to be for games. That one is going to be for videos. As in videos I'm going to be stockpiling, which how I have doing right now. Now, like I said, OBS doesn't take that much space. These two are 4 gigabytes together, and they are almost a half hour. Almost. This one, 9 minutes basically, and almost 2 gigs. This is 12 gigs, but this is also an hour of recording. So it's stockpiling those videos, also the videos that would be the DxTory files, and then the same thing on here. This is why I'm using the 2 terabyte now, is because of things like this. The 163 gigabyte recording for an hour. And then until I upload the videos, I would have the Vegas files just in case I need to change anything beforehand, re-render it, do whatever. And then I would have the actual finished video until I upload it. Once I upload videos, I delete them off my computer. And then stuff like this for more recording. So it's basically just for the space. And just to, be safe and know that I have it. The graphics card I'm still going to take a look at, but right now it's got a 1070 Ti in there. And then the case is a NZXT S340 Elite. Now, if you look right here, this is the case I was originally going to go with, a BitPhoenix Nova TG. And I was fine with that for a while, and then I kind of decided to go with something else because I'm trying to step more out of like my comfort zone when it comes to looking for computer parts, because there's a lot of like way better stuff, of course, out there now, and stuff that I really didn't like looking for because I didn't know anything about the parts. But for the past year and a half, I've been watching stuff about the new 7th 8th Gen CPUs, motherboards, RAM, storage, graphics cards, stuff like that. And depending on how much stuff I would be doing at the same time for the workstation, the airflow would be a lot more better in this than in the BitPhoenix. Now, there's nothing wrong with the BitPhoenix. I wouldn't have minded having that, but I would rather go with the NZXT. So I'll get to those in a minute. Another Seasonic 80 plus gold, fully modular, 650 watt power supply. Now, I don't know what the recommended PSU is for the 1070 Ti. Let's see if it tells you on here. Okay, so just like the 1080 I was showing you, I found one similar to the Asus. It's the Duke from MSI. Those are nice too. If I wasn't going with Asus, I would have gone with the Duke, because those are really good. So the recommended PSU is 500 for this for a 1080 Ti. So I'll have enough. um, and later on, like once I like in like 5 to 7 years from now, if I'm still doing all this stuff, which I'm really hoping to, and when I build a new computer, all the stuff that'll be in my gaming computer will be going as a workstation then. And I'll probably still keep the case because I do love the Fantex. So, um, so then let's go ahead and go through the specs for the NZXT and the case fan. Now this only holds 120 millimeters if I'm not mistaken. Um, let's see. They do have different colors. They have black and red, black and blue, black and white. Um, okay, well it does come with 140s, but I think I got 120s just so I can keep the 120 thing going because the back doesn't hold a 140, which doesn't bother me. I just don't like to really mix and match stuff. Even though actually on the Nova TG, I was gonna get two Cooler Masters to replace the one Bit Phoenix fan in the front because it ran better and cooler, but that's okay. Um, so this case is actually something I've been looking at a lot recently because it's a nice case, really nice case. Um, it's another tempered glass window. Um, the thing that's cool about it is that you can get something to where you can put like a VR headset in the front. You can mount it on there, which is nice. Personally, I'm probably not gonna get VR because I'm not worried about it right now. But as you can see in the top, there is a dust filter, I think it is, and it's a spot for a 120 millimeter. Here's the side. This is the side you will be looking at the most. A lot of the cables will be coming through there, and wherever you need to. That is in an SSD bracket. Um, Now there are two places you can put the cables through. One of which is right there or right there. Now, if you put it right there, either one, you're gonna have to fish the cable around and kind of like up, which if you're looking for like the maximum amount of cable management, that's not gonna look good. Because if you just put it right there, then your SSD is gonna be upside down. So if you put it right there, there's one issue to that, and that is the optical drive cage in the back. There are two slots, and if you plan on installing a second one, then you're gonna have to do some more cable management or just not use this in general. Because the cord will actually be owning that slot basically. Um, so again, here's the front. That's where the two fans will go. There's the one. There's the other one. SSD bracket. Motherboard will go right there and all that. So and then the top, it's got a power button. It's got two USB 2.0s and two USB 3.0s, and this is something that I haven't seen on a computer other than this one. It's got a front HDMI port for VR, which I think is pretty cool. And then it's got a mic and jack audio. Yeah, see, that's the VR thing. I would have liked to show you the back of the other side of the computer, but there was no pictures, and I don't feel like looking. But for the case fans, like I said, I was going with two more 120s just to stay at the thing. 21 decibels and 1200 RPM. So it'll work good. It'll work good. And then $2,100. And same thing, Windows 10. Now other people are gonna be like, why don't you just pirate Windows 10? Because I know there's a lot of people that do that. I've done it myself. It's because I want to make these computers legit instead of like a knockoff. So those are the reasons why I'm getting these specific parts, why I'm building them this specific, is because that is the way I want to build them. Asus wise. Because like not to like push off anything else on like MSI or Gigabyte. I've just found that Asus is, in my opinion, a lot better. They're ones that I recommend more, and would be willing to use more of. The actually the motherboard that I had in this computer was a Gigabyte, and that worked out well for a while. And then some stuff happened, and I had to get a new one. And now I actually have an Asus motherboard in here now, um, which haven't had a problem since I first installed it. So it works. Everything's good. Um, and yeah, like the storage. Um, that's what I want in the computer. I mean, that might not be what you guys want, which is fine. That's the whole point of a custom built computer, is that you get to have whatever you want in it. And, whew, that it bothers me. I'm going to talk about this for a second too. The thing that bothers me most is when you are building a computer. This I talked about this in the beginning. If you're talking to a friend, that you show this computer to. This happened to me a few times with a few of my other friends. Um, Not the main people that I talk to. They say, you should go with this one and this part instead of, whatever part. And I'm like, no, I'm going to build it, the way I am right now, or the way I have it right now is because it's what I like. He's like, and they'll be like, but this part's better, or there's virtually no difference. Why don't you just downgrade and save the money? And then they'll start getting pissy about it because I'm not listening to them. And then I start to get pissed, and then I start talking back to them. It's a custom built computer. Build it the way that you want it to. My computer is going to be built the way that I want. And if you don't like it, then don't talk to me about it. Which I've never had an issue where it's came to, like me and my friend didn't talk for a while because he ended up understanding. Uh, same thing with the graphics card. Why don't I just save the $200 and get a 1070 instead of getting this 1080? It's because I actually told him too. It's like future safety is what people have been calling it lately. Future safety, because if you get like a 1080 or a 1080 Ti, or hell, even a 1070, it's going to be quite a few years until you have to upgrade. And I'm getting a 1080 just for the little bit extra life expectancy and extra, like the little extra performance, just so I can, that and to say I got a 1080. Which, bragging rights really doesn't matter to me. I'm getting it because I like the appearance, I like, the specs of it, and I like the speed of it. Same thing with the processor. I mean, I've never had an issue with that. But like storage, my friends will say like, like do. I'm trying to think, because one of my other builds, I had a 3 TB just for games, and a 1 TB for everything else. He was like, then why don't you just do 4 1 TB and space all out? It's because it's not the way I want to do it. So I know I'm getting deep into the conversation and getting a little bit off topic, but I felt like this was something I wanted to mention because it pisses me off when people do it, and it pisses other people off, and I just make fun of it. So if you guys ever have a problem with that, like building a computer, a custom computer, build it the way you want. Don't let anybody give you shit about it because it's not their computer. You're going to be the one using it, not them. So that's why I'm doing this computer and the other computer the way I want it. It's because I want to, I'm building them one at a time because I want to have what I want inside the computer. Now the thing is, I'm gonna take my friend's thought into consideration too. For file transfers, he was saying I should get uh external, or no, like uh they plug into the motherboard, so I guess internal. Um Gigabit uh Ethernet cards, and then hook both of them up with an Ethernet. So I would have one for the internet and then the other one for file transferring, which actually I'm gonna look into now. Because my friend mentioned that and he was saying it'd probably be faster, which it might be. So all I would have to do is just look on here for wired network adapters. I'm actually looking at it right now. Um, so yeah, like I said, I'll have to look more into that, see how everything is and how everything works and all that. Um, but yeah, I kind of I just yeah, my nose it just I just kind of wanted to do this video to let you guys know like what's gonna be going on with the two new computers. Yes, I do still plan on streaming while I build it. I am gonna be bringing this computer down with me, cause that'll be what I'm gonna be using for a little bit until I have enough money to build the first one. Um, and my grandmother's gonna be helping me out too, so that'll be good. Um, so yeah, I'll still be streaming both of them. And when I build the second computer, it'll be with the new computer, or I don't know. So the other thing I'm gonna have to figure out is what I'm gonna do with this computer. Probably have it as an extra, or um, I don't know, like an extra, or oh my back, or as a guest computer, or give it to my grandmother or my dad, whoever wants it. And if they don't want it, it'll just be put away. Now, not to take anything away from this computer, because this computer kind of does run like shit, but it still works for me. I would much rather upgrade it before giving it to anybody else than what it's at right now. Because this thing, it works for me. It runs fast, but like most of the time it runs like garbage, which I'm fine with because I don't do too much except for just game and record. I barely stream that much anymore because multi-threading's a bitch on here. um, so that's the other reason why I'm going with the 8700K too. Of course, 7700K will do just fine, but also a lot of the games that I play would take up more than 80 to 90% of that CPU usage. Um, and there are games that I can play on this computer that I want to get, but I can't because I don't have the money. um, but yeah. Anyway, I'll save the rambling for a stream or something. One of these days I'll just stream about random shit or do a podcast by myself. I could do that. Um, so yeah, actually that's what I might do. I'll probably do a podcast or something and I'll kind of upload it in its entirety. Of just me talking and telling you guys like the plan that I want to do for how I want everything set up and all that. So I think one of these days next week I'll do it. But this video will be going up the day after I record it because I also have another vlog that I'm going to have to record on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So this vlog will be going up tomorrow, Wednesday. And I also have to record another one because I have some very exciting news about therapy, about how my progress is going, because I was actually just thinking about this the other day. A lot of the stuff that has been uploaded lately are videos that I recorded like the beginning of last month. I stocked up on footage for a good like month and a half. So and actually I was just looking at this earlier too. I still have videos that are still scheduled to be uploaded. A video just went up an hour ago of Call of Duty Zombies with Dan. And that was actually a video that he put up a while ago. me see. Because actually, I started doing something different and I started planning all my stuff out. Um, so this, like, the Gmod videos. The Gmod videos, I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had 9 videos of Gmod, Guess Who. Not Guess Who, it's Murderer. But that's okay. And if we were to look over here, this is all of my videos that I uploaded. And look at that, March 19th, March 12th. Those were videos that I had stocked up for a few weeks. And like all these Skybounds, these I'm actually going to do more of. But then I had I had these. So I basically just had a lot of just stocked up footage, and I did that on purpose. That was so that my channel can be like the most active it's been in a while. Cuz I figured if I can get a bunch of stocked up footage, then I can get some like mad editing done, videos being uploaded almost every day, which is how I have everything set up. So I still do have some other stuff that I gotta do. A few other videos that I gotta edit, and a few that I gotta make. And with that being said, I have some other stuff that I gotta take care of still. And like the end of this video, I actually plan this out to kind of explain like what's been going on. Because the footage that you guys have been seeing is backed up footage from last month, like earlier days. And you guys really haven't seen me like in the present. Because most of these videos that I have uploaded right now are ones from like the middle of last month, which is pretty much around this time. So I just kind of wanted to get you guys a little update, which I'm going to do tomorrow. So I'm going to record a vlog tomorrow, and that vlog will be going up on Thursday or Friday, something like that. So yeah, so I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to get to editing this vlog and get it ready and uploaded for tomorrow. And then there's a little bit more editing I got to do with the Garry's Mod videos that I got left. I'm going to edit the last 3, or the last 2 I got. And then I have to start closing out the vlog, getting that edited and rendered, and then start uploading that. So I got some stuff I got to do. So yeah, anyway, if you guys would enjoy seeing like a podcast, maybe it would be with a face cam, maybe it won't be. It most likely will be because I don't feel like doing anything else. But if you guys would be wanting to see something like that, let me know down in the comments. Dan's done some podcasts. Me and him have done a podcast or 2 before. And I wouldn't mind doing something like that because that gets like everything off of my chest, that let you guys know what's going on at that time, what's been going on, the few days before or whatever I want to talk about. So that's what I might do. I don't know when that would be. That would probably be maybe sometime next week or 2 weeks. I don't know. But today is April 10th, so it will probably be next week, because next week I might have some more stuff to talk about than I do today. Now I will be smart and start writing down the stuff that I want to talk about. And actually the setup, how I want everything, done when we move, like when my computer's set up and all that, that'll be probably an hour by itself, because we're already pretty much like an hour in, and I can still talk. So, yeah, but I'm not. I'm actually going to end this here so that I can start editing this and all that. And, yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I love your faces, and I'll see you all in the next one.